Absolutely delighted to be joined by Kent Spitfires captain Sam Billings on the Kent Cricket Media Day. Sam, busy couple of weeks for you. First time father. How's fatherhood treating you?
Yeah, it's been an amazing kind of whirlwind couple of weeks. Blink and 2 weeks have gone past pretty quickly. So, absolutely magical. And as everyone says to you before, you can't really prepare for it at all, but it is magical. So, been an amazing couple of weeks.
Completely different cricket season on the horizon for you. Signing your first ever white only deal. Talk us through your decision and obviously the season.
Yeah, firstly, the decision. Yeah, I think I've had a period of probably 3-4 years where I've tried to kind of balance everything out and try and spread myself across all three formats. Trying to play Test cricket for England, trying to play limited overs stuff, and it was just completely unsustainable. So it became a grind. It became unenjoyable, and I think, like anything in life, as soon as you lose that enjoyment factor, something has to change. So I think perfect timing, life change, obviously becoming a father for the first time, and being able to spend my time at home as well, when obviously during the winter I'm away so much as well. So for me, it just seemed like a really kind of positive decision. A tough one, of course, but I think Test cricket for me, that ship sailed. So it was seeing what I needed to do to kind of focus on my career.
You obviously mentioned the little one there, but you also mentioned being in and around the England sides and the limited over stuff. That must be another contribution to the decision you've made, but potentially a push for the T20 World Cup, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
You never know.
Yeah, potentially. I think I'm also in a really nice headspace in terms of not putting too much pressure on myself. I think the opportunities that we have now as a player around the world are incredible. Past, unfortunately, the other side of 30 now, and you get to a stage of your career where you just want to win as much as possible in terms of trophies, in terms of silverware, and having won 3 in the last calendar year, for me, that's a huge driving force, and being able to give absolutely everything I can to kind of do that. As a byproduct, if I get recalled for an England recall for the World Cup, absolutely. But it's kind of not my priority and focus as such. I'm playing as well as I have done in a long time. So that's been really positive over the last few months.
Your play style and character are win at all costs, and it matches up with the England Test side at the moment. You were part of that during its infancy, wasn't you? The Bazball Era, McCullum and Stokes. What was that like to be around and be a part of?
Amazing. It's. I've seen a lot of rubbish actually talked about in the last couple of weeks. Pretty emotional, obviously, after India.
Which was always going to be a tough test.
It's the toughest place in the world to tour. If anyone needs an experience, it's pretty obvious. You look at the stats, and I don't think anyone's gone there in a very long time and won. I think it was, I think in the previous 17 tests to Bazball, we'd won 1 test, and all of a sudden now it's the worst thing. It's a slight spread, and we've just been beaten by one of the best teams in their home conditions. So I think just a little bit of calm, a little bit of composure around that, and the philosophy. The best coaches I've ever played under are ones that make you feel $1 million, but are able to make you a better player and allow you to make mistakes, but also make you realise that you need to improve. It's a really hard skill, I think, and one that you can identify pretty clearly. Baz is absolutely one of those people, and Stephen Fleming, actually another Kiwi of mine that comes to mind. He's also kind of a similar ilk. So they're the two up there as the 2 best coaches I've ever worked under, and you're not always defined by results. I know that's been chucked around a lot, but I think the progress that's been made over the last 2 years for the Bazball era, the results kind of do actually speak for themselves.
As someone that loves both the short form stuff and the Test cricket, the thing I love most about the Bazball era is it kind of has a short form feel to it, despite being on all day. you surely must take bits into your captaincy in short form from the Stokes and McCullum stuff.
Yeah, I think with leadership, it has to be authentic. It has to be a part of you and not trying to be someone else.
Of course.
So I think it's inspirational what both those guys have done, and actually taking a very similar group of players and seeing them completely transform and play a completely different style of cricket and be successful. Zach Crawley, Exhibit A. It's amazing how much bad press Zach had previously to kind of this generation or this coaching setup.
It's mad
before.
what a year can do.
Well, yeah, 2 years. I mean, he was the best player in the Ashes. He was the best player in India and so I think using that as a really good example. Look at Jack Leach, another one. Obviously, really unfortunate with the injury, but you saw his transformation under Baz and Ben. I think that's more of a mark of the environment and also the setup to see how they can kind of transform players and make players better. So, I think there just needs to be a bit of calm around all the negative press that's gone on about them.
I think this one's one we could talk about all day, to be honest. With the short form stuff, you obviously love your short form cricket. Do you think, and you've played it all around the world, do you think it gets a bit of a bad rap for the effect it has or can have on Test cricket? Sport's
changing, cricket's changing. Culturally, we change every single year in society, so you have to go with the times. T20 is loved all around the world. The proof's in the pudding. You're seeing stadiums packed out all around the world. And I am a purist. I love Test cricket more than any other format in terms of, growing up, you always wanted to play in the Ashes as an England player. And they're just different. They're different sports. And looking at it through that lens is a kind of a healthy thing, that they're both there to support each other, and without either, neither survives kind of thing. So I think that's probably a healthier way to look at it. They can both coexist and actually help each other.
And on that point, they can both do completely different things to develop a player, right? So what do you see as the positives in terms of development for a young player? Case study being Tawanda Mieye, going away to Oval Invincibles, playing for the T20 side, to develop him as a cricketer, both in long and short form cricket.
Yeah, look, and this is, again, not to say one is better than the other, but Tawanda came in, for his first game last year at the Oval. There was packed out, sold out, 26,000 people. He's gone out there. That is an environment that is straight away preparing him for international cricket. As a Kent club, as anyone involved with Tawanda as a young player, we want him to develop into an international player, and that's what our duty is to any of our young players here at Kent. It's always been kind of a part of the manifesto is actually to produce England players, and that environment speeds up that process of finding out how people deal with pressure, deal with a big crowd, and you see it a lot. Some people can really thrive in that environment, and some can really struggle, and it's a learnt skill. I think it can come naturally to some people, but like I said, it's up to us to expose them to those kind of things. And if he wants to play international cricket, you have to be able to deal with that.
You've probably played for more short form teams than most.
Yeah.
Josh Butler told talkSPORT this week that he's quite interested in going over to America and playing in the Major League Cricket. Is that something you could see yourself doing? It's not a bad place to go and play, is it?
I'd love to. Absolutely love to. My other half, Sarah, she went to university over in LA on a tennis scholarship actually a while ago. So she definitely wants to go back. She's got a lot of friends back there, but I'd love to be a part of it. Again, the challenge is always about the scheduling. There's a lot of cricket on. There's too much cricket on, arguably, and it's just fitting it all into one place. And I suppose the difficulty is it cutting across our current season and with the 100 as well. So it's always difficult, but it's definitely an opportunity I'd love to pursue at some point.
Obviously, back to Kent and T20. It's 3 years on now from the last T20 success. captain this year, white ball only. What are the aims? What are the challenges you're going to face? And also, you've got a couple of cracking overseas players coming to join you. So is there that expectation of you've got to not go and win it, but have a good go at it?
Straight away, every year, bare minimum for us. We've been a very good T20 side for at least a decade now, and its bare minimum is qualification to the quarterfinals. Knockout cricket, the best team wins on that day. But yeah, bare minimum is qualification for those quarterfinals, and then we go from there. As you said, as you alluded to, Xavier Bartlett and Wes Agar provide great firepower, both up top, but also the death overs. It's definitely an area that we've needed to improve in the last few years. And it was frustrating last year. I feel like last year, not only in T20 but obviously Championship as well, we got hit hard with injuries. I think the run of games where we had our full squad, or pretty much our full squad, I think we won 6 or 7 in a row.
Very dependent on the loan market last season.
Yeah, but in the T20, when Fred Klaassen came back from injury, we had our... obviously, Michael Hogan was a great coup for us. But we had our set team. I think we won 6 in a row in T20s. And you get that momentum. The last couple of games, I think we had 5-6 injuries and we got blown out of the water, unfortunately. But yeah, as I said, really excited for that competition. I think we have Zach Crawley around for the majority, and obviously everyone thinks he's just a test player, but you look at his T20 record and it's up there as good as anyone. So yeah, he'll be a huge addition as well. It'll feel like 3 internationals, and then obviously Matt Parkinson as well. So 4 internationals kind of added into our already really strong group. Very, very positive.
Xavier Bartlett, someone you've played with abroad.
Yep.
Coincidence or agent Sam Billings coming into play?
Absolutely the latter. We actually signed him last year.
Yep.
He got pulled out due to injury last year, and I've been a huge fan of him. And any overseas player now, especially the young guys, we have a duty to improve them. He's got huge aspirations to play for Australia, and we feel that it's a perfect environment for him to develop those aspirations. And yeah, it was someone that I felt on and off the field is a natural fit for Kent and him. So yeah, he's a great man and a serious bowler, leading wicket taker obviously in the Big Bash this year. So yeah, agent Sam Billings was on the phone after every single game. I was like, he's got another 3 for. He's bowling brilliantly. Let's get this sorted before too many other clubs come in.
Potential career after cricket then, either DOC or agent, by the looks of it.
I'll be honest, I'm really interested in the high performance kind of aspect of cricket. I think captaincy leads you into that. Rob Key obviously has stepped into that role, and he's always said that captaincy, certainly at a club like Kent, where you are pretty hands-on, it enables you a really good skill set to kind of go into that kind of role. So for me, yeah, certainly something, maybe in a few years' time, still got plenty of gas left in the trunk, in the fuel tank. So yeah, maybe in a while.
Sam, really enjoyed that, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.